Jayson down in his defensive stance. 12 on a shot clock. Smart. Right-hand dribble. Floats it to Tatum. He's got to look. Left side three. Got it!
Man, these big boys is stepping in their track right now.
Jayson Tatum coming up clutch. Celtics get the win. They force a Game 7, which we will see Sunday at the Garden. Celtics post-game live. Tom Giles, Eddie House, Scal. How about that? How about that win right there? I mean, this game was tight, and Jayson Tatum just taking over late.
Yeah, Jayson Tatum came through like Jesus. He wasn't there when he called, but he always on time, and he was definitely on time tonight. We was calling for him. We was asking for him. He delivered in the biggest of moments when your season was on the brink of failure, right? It was going to be a failure, and it could have been on your back, the reason why you failed. But he turned it around, resilient. It's almost like what this team does to us, man. You talk about that roller coaster ride, we're peaks and valleys, and we don't know what's going to happen and things like that, but they stay with it. And one thing I can say about this team is they are resilient. As many times as they go up and they come down, they fight back. So, I mean, Game 7, let's get it.
Yeah, and it's the whole game. From when Rob would start and when the impact he had, then he comes out, and you're like, man, you got to get him back in there. To when is Jayson Tatum going to start taking over? To like, are we going to score enough? To Philadelphia looking like they had control over this game in that third quarter. You know, Georges Niang hitting those threes in the corner. To finally the star coming through. Jayson Tatum came through with those shots, and he has the utmost confidence in his game because I don't know if he's thinking about the outside noise. He might not be. There's a lot of pressure as this thing is building. But for him, he made one shot, and that let the lid off the basket for him.
That was it right there, right?
That's the one, and 3 more threes after that to put the Sixers away and force the Game 7.
I mean, the Celtics were down 83-81 when he hit that first one. He was 1 of 13 going into the fourth quarter and scored 16 points, Eddie.
I mean, like I said, I spoke on it in the open of this, man. There's nothing that you could say except being resilient, trusting your work, trusting in your skill set, trusting and believing in you, and your teammates believe in you as well. And think about this, guys. We had 18 turnovers tonight and won this basketball game.
Yeah.
If I'm in that other locker room, if I'm in the 76ers, I'm thinking to myself, what else can we do right now? I mean, we played we turned them over where their superstar was struggling. Every time that they tried to make a run, we could combat their run, but then they'll turn the ball over and give us opportunities. And, I mean, regardless on what it was, we found a way to fight. And like Marcus said, this is a dog fight. We're going to scratch, we're going to claw, you're going to bleed. And they went out there and did everything besides bleed. But they did scratch, they clawed, they fought, they bit. Whatever it was that they needed to do to get this W, they did. And Jayson Tatum, man, I mean, just digging down deep. I mean, you talk about full belief in yourself. I mean, Scal, you ever been there before?
That's hard to do. What he did.
When your mind, you're like, I can't get it going. I can't get it going. I mean, it's unbelievable, man. Only thing that I can equate to that, because I've never been on his level, is that. But when I was in college, we played BYU one time, right? And I went 0 for 16, had 5 points. And I kept shooting. I just didn't make them. He kept shooting, and he made them in the biggest moments at the biggest time in front of everybody. Everybody's watching. People wanted to count the Celtics out. People wanted to start talking back. Think about what they would have been saying tomorrow morning on these TV shows about Jayson Tatum if he didn't show up like this.
And the Celtics would have lost. I mean, it would have been. So I don't know what it's like to be on his level either, but I can't imagine he's thinking about all that stuff. But the tidal wave of what is this team? What are they going to do? What about these stars? Are they worth it? Are they ever going to get over the hump? The coach? All that lied in his hands with about 4 minutes to go. And he took all that, crumpled it up and said, don't worry about that. I'm going to make sure we win this game and force Game 7.
Worth every penny.
No question.
Let's go to Abby Chin now back in the Wells Fargo Center. She's standing by with Rob Williams.
Rob, what are the emotions right now?
Not too much of a sense of comfort, but just glad we stayed together throughout that game. We fought, man. line for our season, and I'll be over tonight, just ready to take it back home, man.
Rough night for Jayson Tatum. What were you guys saying to him, and how resilient is he?
Yeah, man, Malcolm just told him, you're playing the game the right way, bro. You're making plays for your teammates, rebounding, assists. You're shooting great shots. They just happen to not be falling, so I guess at the right time at the end, the game rewarded me.
When did you find out you were going to start, and what did Joe ask you to do?
He told me last night, really just set the tone, man. Keep that intensity going and give them all what I'm under.
How do you guys take this into the Game 7?
Knowing it's not done. Like I said, just glad we get to go home at this Game 7 in front of our crowd, bring all the intensity, man, they're going to put it away.
Rob, congratulations. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So 28 minutes for Rob Williams in this game. By the way, we're talking about Jayson Tatum winning this game for the Celtics in the fourth quarter, but he had the opportunity because everyone else kept it together. When you think about that, your superstar's 1 of 13 going into the fourth, yet you're right there, and it's a 2-point game.
Two guys. One, Smart made huge plays.
Big time.
Absolutely.
He made winning pivotal plays. And the other guy, Rob Williams, him on the court, he was sensational the whole game. He was plus 18 in this game. He was unbelievable. And I would say this, I really feel like him and Al together were off the charts. So he did play some minutes, which I didn't feel like it was as impactful when he was out there without Al. But, man, he ended up at plus 18 on the night. You guys want to call Joe Mazzulla adjustments or whatever you guys want to call them, changing your starting lineup forced the Sixers in a bad way early, and that allowed us to win this game.
But on top of that, let me just pile on because so much that we could break down and talk about. But really what it came down to, we got stops when we needed to.
11 points for Philadelphia.
They scored 13 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but 2 of those was either garbage.
Right.
Yeah, it was garbage. When it was money time, 11 points. And where – I'm not trying to
what about the free throws that they got on the clear path?
Yeah, and they had to redo them. But here, the Joel Embiid – he disappeared in the fourth, and you would think that that's the time. He has to think, man, I got to go back to Boston and get a win. You would think that's the time for him to dominate. This Celtic team defense, all of them, did a great job on Embiid in that fourth quarter.
Fantastic
And they rebounded the ball as well, which was huge. Philly wasn't getting those second chance opportunities.